Well, the San Diego Padres are spending a little bit more money this offseason as they have locked up a starting pitcher for the next 6 seasons. He will be staying with the San Diego Padres. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Gillis TV. Welcome into Clem Hawks. And if you're new to the channel and like anything MLB related, news, trades, rumors, injuries, live streams, whatever it is, we got you covered here on the channel, and a little bit of NASCAR too from Clem Hawks itself. As if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, we greatly appreciate it. We're on the road to 5,000 here. Now let's get into this. The Padres and right-hander Yu Darvish are in agreement on a 6-year extension that will run through the 2028 season. AJ Casvel and Mark Friesand of MLB.com reported this deal. Darvish, a Wazer client, was under contract for $18 million in 2023. That means the deal will tack on 5 years and $90 million worth of new money to his contract, which will carry Darvish to the age of 41 season. So we'll scroll up here. There's been more details of it. Darvish's contract will be a front-heavy loaded contract. He'll earn $30 million in 2023, a substantial increase over the $18 million for which he previously been slated for. That leaves $78 million over the final 5 seasons. That's of particularly note given changes to the recent collective bargaining agreement, which stipulate that upon being traded, only the remainder of a player's contract counts towards the new team's luxury tax. Previously, the tax hit would remain the same. In other words, a potential trade of Darvish down the road will come with a considerably lighter luxury hit for any acquiring team by virtue of a contract front-loaded nature. In remarkable contracts when considering Darvish's age, although at an average annual of $18 million, Darvish hardly needs to perform like an ace in order to continue to justify the price tag. That's the same AAV as the Phillies committed to Taijuan Walker this offseason, for instance, and over the life of the new contract, the AAV is high-end pitching-only figures to continue to increase. That said, any long-term deal running through pitcher's age 41 season, Darvish will turn 42 about 6 weeks before the contract ends, is previously teaming with risk. As things currently stand, however, Darvish remains among the game's best starters. The right-hander's age 35 campaign saw him pile up 194 and two-thirds innings of 3.10 ERA ball with a strikeout and walk rates of 25.6% and 4.8% respectively. That were far better than league average, particularly the walk rate. Darvish's 95-mile-an-hour average fastball was actually the second best mark of his career, and those 194 and two-thirds innings pitched were the second highest single-season total he logged since signing with the Rangers back in 2012. Darvish had Tommy John surgery in March of 2015, missing entirely of that season and a substantial chunk of the 2016 campaign while recovering. His 2018 season with the Cubs, who originally signed him to a 6-year, $126 million deal on which he'd previously been playing on, was limited to just 40 innings thanks to a tricep injury. This is a lot. Since that time, however, Darvish has been quite durable. He made all 12 of his starts during the shortened 2020 season, and in which his past 362 game seasons, he has taken a hill at least 30 times. The Padres have been set to lose both Darvish and Blake Snell to free agency following the 2023 season, with both heading into the final season of their respective contracts. Darvish, however, now looks likely to not only remain in San Diego, but finish out his career as a member of the Padres under President of Baseball Operations AJ Preller, who played a major role in signing Darvish when he was in the Rangers front office. Darvish joined San Diego's native Joe Musgrove, who linked a 5-year extension last summer as the bedrock of the Padres' rotation for the foreseeable future. Keeping Darvish under contract is of particular benefit, with the final two spots on the starting staff already going to relievers who will be making the shift to full-time starters in 2023. Nick Martinez and Seth Lugo. Both players have player options on their contracts for 2024, meaning if things go smoothly, they'll likely opt out of the contract and test free agency on the heels of an improved platform season. If the shift to starting roles don't work out, then the Padres will obviously be seeking alternate options, be they are in-house or external acquisitions. Either way, prior to the Darvish extension, it was possible, if not downright likely, that San Diego would have entered the 2023-24 offseason in search of as many as 4 starting pitchers. That's no longer the case. Darvish carries extra importance from a long-term vantage point when considering the Padres' dealings in recent years. Preller is among the sport's most aggressive executives on the trade market, and with the fairest in and all outs, win at all cost blitz, they've shown little concern with dismantling their once valued farm system as a means of bringing in major league talent. Trade names like Mackenzie Gore, Chris Paddock, Cal Quantrill, Luis Patino, and depleted the organization's pitching pipeline, while the general attrition, injuries, and or poor performances from the remaining prospects like Ryan Weathers, Adrian Moran, and Pedro Avila leave the system without much immediate help on the horizon. Beyond the sheer need for a long-term help in the rotation, there are surely an element of financial creativity at play here. Darvish's pre-existing 6-year, $126 million contract came with a $21 million luxury hit, based on the contract's AAV. Since this new deal is being tacked onto the end of the old contract, it is effectively becomes a 11-year, $216 million deal that comes with a reduced luxury hit of $19.64 million in luxury tax. It's not major savings, but the Padres were right up against the third-tier luxury penalization, so any newly created breathing room is quite welcome. Once crossing into the third luxury tier, a team is penalized not only in the form of a steeper tax rate, but also by having their top pick in the next year's draft dropped by 10 places. The Darvish extension puts some distance between the team and that particularly undesirable slap on the wrist. It also makes things slightly easier for Preller and his staff to likely hope remain under the tax level, but still want to create some wiggle room for in-season acquisitions on the trade market. If the $273 million tax barrier remains a hard stopping point for the Padres once the season's underway, that will likely require the Padres to convince a trade partner to include some money or taken on the contract in return. Nothing less, this extra bit of space could prove useful in accommodating more complementary additions like a bullpen help or added bench depth. Alternatively, it could provide necessary space to eventually select the contract of a non-roster veteran with the salary of a modest note. Someone like a reliever like Chris Damon or catcher Pedro Severino, for instance. As we saw with the Padres' 11-year signing of Alexander Bogaerts and the reported overturns towards Aaron Judge and Trey Turner, the team is clearly comfortable in paying a player into their early 40s. So this is just a good signing. I'm not going to keep going through all this. It's more finance stuff. This is a great signing by the Padres, locking up Yu Darvish, who now they don't have to go out looking for 4 players next season. It's all about, going out there and winning games now, where Yu Darvish went 2-1 in the postseason last year with a 2.88 ERA over 25 innings pitched. He got into 30 games last season, going 16-8 with a 3.10 ERA and 197 strikeouts. So it's a pretty good chunk for Yu Darvish. But I'm Gil Stevie. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm on out of here.